The Spanish announce table.
You have found Pro Wrestling's Best Podcast. It is episode 440 of the Spanish Announce Table. I'm talking fast. We're going to hit it and quit it a lot today because we've got a lot to get in. You may have noticed we are doing this a night early. We are coming to you live directly after AEW Dynamite. Normally, Tom's already fucking tucked in, ready to go night-night. So we've got to get this out of the way because I've got some shit to do tomorrow night. Can't come to you at our normally scheduled time on Thursday nights at exactly on the spot, precisely 7:15-ish, U.S. Central Standard Time, the 1-2 time zone. So, Tom, it's pro wrestling, man. We had an AEW Collision, brand new AEW Collision. We're going to talk about that because we're going to talk about CM Punk, the 800-pound elephant in the room, right? Then we're going to talk about some AEW Dynamite that just finished. We're on a high from that. There was a lot of action on AEW Dynamite. And then we've got to talk about, because it's kind of the go-home show, right, for Forbidden Door / what we like to call it, AEW Glory Hole, right? So we got to make some predictions for AEW Glory Hole because the door is not forbidden. We named a pay-per-view about having them come over. There's nothing forbidden about this. We're encouraging it. In fact, they're paying these people to come over here. So we're going to talk about all of that, right? Because that's what has happened, that's what is happening, and that's what will happen. But we need to take a look back into the past, Tom, and talk about what happened in pro wrestling history. You ready for this, Tom? Hop in the Spanish
Hell
time
yeah.
machine? Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Come
let's
on.
do it. June 16th, 2017. A lot of good things happening in 2017 in pro wrestling, Tom.
In my life.
WWE Raw was held in Los Angeles, California. Highlights on this card include Finn Balor and the Hardy Boys defeated Cesaro, Sheamus, and Elias in a 6-man tag match. The Miz, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas defeated Dean Ambrose, Heath Slater, and Rhino in a 6-man tag match. Seth Rollins defeated Kurt Hawkins. Samoa Joe attacked Brock Lesnar ahead of their Universal Championship match at the upcoming Premium Live event. Nia Jax defeated Bayley, Mickie James, Dana Brooke, and Emma in succession in a gauntlet match, only to lose to Sasha Banks in the last match of that gauntlet match, resulting in Sasha Banks being named the #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship at the next Premium Live event. Or Nia Jax. Tom, what was the name of
Great
that
Balls
next
of Fire.
Premium Live? It's Great Balls of Fire. Yes.
That's the dumbest one ever.
The dumbest one ever. It was only named that the one time. All the pictures we got of the memes where it just said like balls next to somebody's face.
What a good main event, though. Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar and Samoa Joe had a hell of a main event. And then afterwards, if you remember, they did the promo where it was Roman Reigns was in the ring, Brock Lesnar was in the ring, and then Samoa Joe came in the ring, and Brock Lesnar was looking at Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe's like, "Look at me when I'm killing you," and he was like, "What, motherfucker?" And then he like lost it. Oh yeah, what a fun time! Yeah, it was a really fun time. Stupid pay-per-view name.
That was great. Great Balls of Fire. June 27th, 2004. WWE Great American Bash was held in Norfolk, Virginia. Highlights of this card include John Cena retained the United States Championship against Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and Rene Dupree in a fatal 4-way match where no one died. Rey Mysterio retained the Cruiserweight Championship against Chavo Guerrero.
Okay.
Mordecai defeated Hardcore Holly. Mordecai. Remember Mordecai?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
JBL defeated Eddie Guerrero in a Texas bull rope match to win the WWE Championship.
So much blood.
The Texas bull rope is tougher than a standard bull rope. Everybody knows that.
Well, the blood in that match would definitely make you think so. They fucking
that.
buckets.
The Undertaker defeated the Dudley Boys in what type of handicap match?
Are we talking about what the end result was? Because Paul Bear died in the cement, the fucking thing.
Yes, this was
a 2-on-1.
Yes.
Yeah, what was it called though?
This is a concrete crypt match. If Undertaker were to win, Paul Bear would be entombed in a crypt that would be slowly filled with concrete. The Undertaker did win this match. However, he opted to fill the tomb for reasons with concrete anyway, seemingly killing Paul Bearer, saying he had no other choice. So
yeah, because the Dudleys did something, and then I think I may be wrong here, but I thought it was like maybe Vince was involved. Like
it's Paul Heyman.
Do it or
Paul Heyman like was gonna do it anyway, right? He was like, I'm filling the concrete, and Undertaker
I'll do it.
Runs him off, and he's like, fuck it.
Yeah. Fucking Vince. What an idiot.
Love it.
Genius, they say.
Concrete. Kill this guy with concrete. Yeah.
Yeah.
June 28th, 2015.
Okay.
TNA Slammiversary was held in Orlando, Florida. Highlights of this card include Tigre Uno retained the X Division Championship in a three-way elimination match against DJZ and Manic.
Manic. Yeah. No, remember DJZ?
Yes.
It was the best. Yeah.
Bram defeated Matt Morgan in a street fight.
Oh, Matt Morgan. That piece of shit. I hated Matt Morgan.
Yeah. Well, and Bram, didn't he like allegedly abuse Charlotte?
Yeah, probably.
James Storm, allegedly. James Storm defeated Magnus in an unsanctioned match.
Okay.
Bobby Roode, Drew Galloway, Eric Young, and Matt Hardy all lost in the King of the Mountain match for the TNA King of the Mountain Championship to which wrestler?
Bobby Lashley.
It is not Bobby Lashley.
What? It wasn't? I was so sure of that one.
Nope.
Kurt Angle?
It is not Kurt Angle.
Jeff Hardy.
Close.
Broken Matt Hardy?
Nope. No, Matt Hardy lost. He was part of that.
Well, but I thought maybe they'd do some fucking broken thing. Who was it?
Well, as Justin Floor says in the chat here, he says, I don't care what the question is. It's Jeff Jarrett.
Damn it. I thought he was out by
Yes. I knew the timing was going to throw you off. And I knew you would be surprised, and I know you love being surprised with anything. Jeff Jarrett. Tom loves Jeff Jarrett so much.
You motherfucker. Yes.
I was so happy when I saw this one. I was like, oh, he's never gonna think Jeff Jarrett was in TNA in 2015.
This was the global wrestling, whatever the fuck foundation.
Oh gosh, is that time? Yeah, Global Force Wrestling or something like that. Yeah, this looks like
came back.
I don't know. I didn't dig into the details, but given the names here, this looks like it was like we're doing a King of the Mountain, King of the Mountain, King of the Mountain, right? Like meta King of the Mountain. So we got to get Jeff Jarrett here, right?
Yeah, I remember that. That's when he kind of came back after getting kicked out. That fucking piece of shit.
Shout out Justin Floor in the chat. Everybody should join us in the chat. If you're not watching us live on YouTube, normally Thursday nights, sometimes Wednesday nights, then shame on you. Shout out Dak Draper. You should be watching us live because you can chat with us live. If you can't chat with us live, you can use hashtag tweet the table, of which I have one of. If any came in tonight, sorry, my bad. Didn't get it in time because we're doing the show early, but you'll get the idea. Anyway. Let's move on, to the next one.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
All right, yeah, let's do it. June 29th, 1999. WWF Monday Night Raw was taped in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Highlights of this card include Al Snow retained the Hardcore Championship in a hardcore match against D'Lo Brown. Billy Gunn defeated Meat.
Sean Stasiak.
Yeah. Kane defeated Hardcore Holly and The Big Show in a handicap tag match. Really like to know what the story was behind that one. I don't remember that one. The Rock defeated Triple H in a steel cage match. The Acolytes lost the WWF tag team titles to which tag team for that tag team's first of many tag team title reigns in the company?
I just had the feeling that maybe you're going to throw in Jeff Jarrett somehow here. So I'm gun shy.
No.
Acolytes lost to the Dudleys?
Not the Dudleys.
Hardys.
The Hardy Boys. Yeah, the Hardy Boys' first tag team titles in the company. And I don't know what they have. 72, I think. 72 reigns. We don't fact check here, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's close enough.
Close.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Final one here. June 30th, 2008. WWE Monday Night Raw was held in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not one of the other Oklahoma.
Right.
Highlights of the card include Mickie James defeated Jillian Hall. Remember Jillian Hall? Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. defeated Darren Wade and Steve Anthony. Rhodes would Rhodes would then announce why he turned on Hardcore Holly the week prior and aligned with DiBiase, forming their new team named Simply Priceless. This is right before what was Randy Orton's Legacy. There we go.
Sure.
Kofi Kingston defeated Chris Jericho by disqualification. Jericho would gouge Kingston's eye after the match to send a message to Shawn Michaels and their feud.
Oh, what a great feud.
CM Punk retained the World Heavyweight Championship against JBL after having just won the title earlier in the night when he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, defeating Edge for the championship. Edge was a sitting duck for this cash-in after he was attacked by which wrestler?
Batista.
It was Batista. Yeah, you remember this?
That very well.
Yeah, yeah. He like attacked him on the ramp. I think and drug him back right to the ring. And laid the wood to him.
What was also interesting is I believe, if my memory is correct, which sometimes it's not, this was like the first time that it was a babyface cashing in on a babyface.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like Edge is the heel, Cena's the babyface. It was like, well, the babyface is down, but the babyface has the Money in the Bank contract. Shit, we're gonna do it. And so that was kind of interesting. That's what made it memorable. And then it was CM Punk, and then
CM Punk.
CM Punk, what's that guy up to?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. AEW Collision, the inaugural, I don't know what they call it when it's a weekly thing. Anyway, the first in it ever AEW Collision happened Saturday night. Now, quick rundown. The theme song. I like the theme song. But as you pointed out, I don't like the video package they put to it. The video package they put to it is what we've gotten in pro wrestling for the last 25 to 30 years, which is hard rock, right? Maybe sometimes a rap beat, but like that kind of hard cuts and whatever. This is a song that kind of, it bubbles, it pops, right? It needs a little bit different of a feel to the video package, right? You can still have it be, it's about fighting, right? And in fact, I hope they continue that as like a theme, right? I hope people in promos are like, hey, it's Saturday night, right? We know that means it's fight night here, right? Like it's all about fighting. Like I hope that's kind of a theme they take, but yeah, they should switch that up a little bit. But
what I think happened is they didn't have approval until probably the day before when Tony Khan announced it on Twitter. So they had something else ready, and then when they're like, "Hey, we can actually go with it," they just cut the part of the song and said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do this." I hope. That next week or the week after, then we can edit and make it a little bit better. Because then we also have Collision footage we can use. So we'll hope, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll do a quick rundown. You know, normally we do these shows. Our AEW Dynamite is our favorite show, so we give you kind of a really in-depth rundown of AEW Dynamite chronologically.
Ooh, we will tonight,
slow
too.
That down a little bit to get that all out. And we're going to do that. Well, we're also going to do Collision, but we may run through these quicker because, man, if we do this every week, we're still working this out. We're workshopping it out, but we'll try it out tonight. CM Punk returns. All right, that was the big thing everybody was waiting for. It's been announced and wink, wink announced for a long time, right, that CM Punk was finally going to make his return after the Brawl Out incident, as they called it, which we weren't at the Brawl Out incident, obviously, live, but we were at All Out Live. I got the chair sitting right over here. And man, I did not think we would see CM Punk back in AEW, and most specifically, I didn't think we would see him back this soon, right? I thought he had finally wore out his welcome, and they didn't take, I thought there was a liability involved, right? But obviously, right, money talks in a lot of ways, even maybe from above Tony Khan down, right? Where money talks and says, let's get some ratings. And CM Punk appears to equal ratings by and large, right? Whether they're TV ratings or whether they're social media ratings, etc., CM Punk can move the needle, right? So that's what he's done. Now, he came out here, Tom, and gave a promo. We don't need to cut down every aspect of the promo. But what did you think of the CM Punk returns, got his boots swinging from his neck like he's a prize fighter? What do you think?
It was a dud. It was 100% a dud. Here's why. Well, first off, before we go any farther, I'm going to pat myself on the back. If you go back into the archives, Spanish Announce Table, as soon as that motherfucker went down, I said he's coming back. All these, the reports say that he's got. Fuck you. It was never going to happen.
You didn't say it. You said it very earlier. You're like, he'll be back, which I gave some credit to. I was like, I could see him back. I just didn't think it would be soon. I thought we would get legal issues out of the way, which apparently we kind of haven't done.
We got this shit going on. Okay, so going to the promo though. It was a dud. Here's why. It was unfocused. Which can be good. Eddie Kingston does an unfocused promo, but that's a different kind of unfocused. This was off the cuff, but I really don't have much to say. He had one thing to say, and he had a couple bars. The only thing softer than you is the wrestlers you like. I think he had that one ready to go. Other than that, where is the lies? Bitch, you're telling feelings. You can't argue with feelings. It's how you feel. How the fuck can I argue that, you dumb? It was, and then also for having that much time, because he wasn't doing much else leading into this Collision episode. And you got to think in the back of his mind, he knows he's going to do this promo. Now, where it was, who knows? But he had time to think of it. All of those factors going into it, I thought this, for his standard, because it is pretty high, was a dud. What did you think, Tim?
Well, man, I thought a lot of things. I think the promo was fine in the regards of it was popping the crowd there. It was likely to pop the crowd there, whether it was a dud or not, right? So I don't want to take that at full measure either. Justin Floor here in the chat says, how many matches will CM Punk have before he gets hurt again? Will he make it to All In? Yeah, well, let's discuss that a little bit further as we go through my rants here, Justin. And thanks for joining us live on the Spanish Announce Table. By the way, if you don't know how to tell if we're going to go live on a Wednesday or Thursday night, you could sign up at SpanishAnnounceTable.net and get, for free, all of our content, especially these special little emails that'll come across. It'll be like, live stream tonight, right? It's a fun little benefit that you get for free, and it really supports us. So go do that, SpanishAnnounceTable.net, and subscribe. Anyway, the CM Punk, man, is... All right. Where I got upset is his whole general demeanor, right? I think I came to the realization that I dislike CM Punk more than I dislike Bret Hart at this point. And maybe that's recency bias, right? That's recency bias, right?
That's hard to do.
But they are, to me, they're one and the same between two generations, right? If we're talking about when we talk about who's the greatest in basketball in the Jordan era versus the LeBron era, it's hard to compare, right? So I think these guys are right neck and neck each other with gripiest, whiniest, but thinks they're the opposite of that person in the business. And here's where I'm going to expand a little further on that, right?
Yeah.
Punk, the soft line, you brought that up, right? And that was later in his promo, but I feel like it's one of the most important aspects because it kind of centers on a lot of things, right? It's kind of around this generalized center, right? He says, I'm sorry that the only thing softer than you is your favorite wrestler or whatever, right? Well, as Justin Floor mentioned, he's hurt every fucking time he steps in the ring, right? I saw him get his ever-loving ass whipped in the UFC twice in very quick, short order, right?
One of those guys will kick your
of course,
ass, you know what I mean?
Of course, right? But okay, right? All right, fine. And then let's not even apply the physical soft version that we're talking about. Let's talk about the you're a whiny bitch hurt feelings version of soft, which is probably what he most meant to imply by that comment.
100%.
And he has made a fucking career off of selling this snake oil that he is this cool motherfucker who could give a fuck less what you think about him. Meanwhile, he whines, cries, sues fucking bitches on live television about anybody who says anything about him that isn't he's the greatest motherfucker in the world. He's the biggest butthurt person I've seen in wrestling since Bret Hart. This dude does nothing but bitch about what other people say about him. This all centers around you being upset about a guy suggesting that you had somebody fired who you claim you didn't, but nobody fucking believes you that you didn't based on the lawsuit you had against that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get where he thinks that, like, he doesn't give a shit and wishes other people, like, didn't give a shit either. Like, you're the one that gives a shit. You are mad that you went on a fucking muffin-filled, like a mountain-filled fucking rant about people not wanting your advice on a career that you had been absent from for nearly a decade. Who the fuck does he think he is? That's the deal. Now, look, I get that makes for great television, right? That's why he's here. That's why he's getting the check. And that's why they roll him out there. Because he says obnoxious shit. And I, for the love of everything that I've ever said here on the Spanish Announce Table, hope I'm getting worked like an idiot, right? I hope CM Punk and the Young Bucks and Adam Page are all cracking champagne and laughing at fucking podcasters like us and doing all that. We're not. Everything has told us CM Punk is this way, right? So I don't get, like, I don't get his whole demeanor, but I get then if he's that delusional, which he appears to be, you roll him out there and you fucking cash in on every dollar of it. And it's going to make for good television until what Justin Floor is saying here, he won't be able to fucking do it anymore, which will come way faster than anybody appears to be ready to think is going to happen. So I don't know,
maybe
man.
Sunday.
I can
give you a
deal
counterpoint?
with never seeing him, but
I'll give you a counterpoint because we've talked about this off air. So that's where I kind of had some thoughts on it before you talked tonight. So I was kind of thinking about it. Now, everything that you had mentioned, I 100% agree with.
Right.
The angle that I think I may empathize with on the part of CM Punk, though, is post-fight. So he does all of the shit about the pettiest things, right? The muffin-filled rant, the all-out scrum, right? Then they get into an alleged fist fight, which, if you believe whoever you want to believe, common knowledge says that it was CM Punk who threw the first punch at Matt Jackson, I believe it was, right? Here's where I think maybe CM Punk is getting more aggravated as time has gone on. And this is just my working theory. I have no inside knowledge. I don't have anyone telling me anything. So it's just my gut. I don't think the Young Bucks have ever been in a fist fight before. And I think they got super sensitive that they actually got into a fist fight. And I alluded to, I compare it to the one guy who had a girlfriend and got dumped and then never dated again. And then says, I can't be in the same room as her. It's like, you guys dated 3 months ago, 2 years ago. So get the fuck over it. Right. Like, you didn't really get that serious. And he, to himself, because he's never experienced it, it's the most thing in the world. So I think, because if you read that ESPN article, he has reached out, what he says, he has reached out to the elite, and the elite said, stop. I don't want to, no, stop. I don't want to talk to you. And that's where I think maybe he's getting pissed off on, you know what we could do? We could make some money, but you guys have never been in this altercation before. I've been in 10 of these things because I'm an asshole. So get over it and let's start making some money.
So there is that. Now, I will say this. Yeah, we conveniently leave the Young Bucks out of this. They also were butthurt in their feelings and probably started the physical altercation, or at least got into a space that warranted somebody else starting it, right? Like, they probably pushed their way. Now, granted, the guy asked for it and they gave it to him, albeit, you know, their positions and tenure in the company and stuff would suggest that you wouldn't have done that, right? Now, I get, we're told, like, I almost unilaterally side with the, like, you know, regular everyday employees not wanting, right, new fucking big shot who does half the work and gets double the money, right? And that kind of thing, like almost unilaterally. So like that was the side I think I was, wanted to take. I've said to you, I'm really upset that CM Punk makes me want to defend the Young Bucks, right? So I don't want to defend the Young Bucks in that situation, right? Like I think the ESPN article was handled pretty well as I read it, right? I think he did own up to saying like, I shouldn't have said it. I think I went on that tirade because of this and this and that. I think it came across as more as like, here's a reason. It's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Right? Here's a reason why I did it, right? And it shouldn't have happened.
But I also think he does this a lot. I think he's the type of guy who, I don't know a better term, so I'm just going to use this one, fails forward, where he gets himself into these situations back in WWE, for example, where him and wrestler X, whether that was Jeff Hardy back in the day or whoever it was, don't like each other. And then Vince, who's the fucking controlling party at WWE, obviously, says, well, then let's turn it into an angle. They use real life stuff in front of the camera. It makes money. And I think CM Punk is saying, you know what this fucking does for everyone? If we use this in front of the camera, and I think the Elite, specifically the Young Bucks, and this is just my gut feeling, says, no, we got into a fist fight. Yeah. We are enemies for life. And Punk is like, no, get over it. And I think that's the part right now in whatever 2023 we're in. I think right now that is his anger is get over it.
There could be that. And what I will say that is this, right? They could be taking a stance. Also, again, we're conjecturing a lot here.
Of course.
Of understanding that, like, sure, we could make money, but maybe they're like, fuck your money. We don't want you here. If this was another person we got in a fist fight with, fine. It's you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to have to fucking talk to you and work out a match and fucking do I can't stand the fucking smell of your breath. Get out of here, right? Like that might be the deal, right?
But on the other side of it, Punk's like, no, this will make us great money.
But maybe they're like, money isn't everything, dick face. Like, we're fine over here. I know you might be going broke, but we're fine. Like, we don't got lawsuits with old friends.
Right, but he's just like, no, come on. Yeah, I think that is honestly right now in the whatever month we're in.
That feels accurate.
That's where we're at. I think we're past all the stuff. Now, Punk may not be past that with a certain Hangman Adam Page, but with the Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, I think that is where he's at with them. And again, this is all just gut feelings and conjecture, as Tim said, but it was a promo. He said it. And it was fine. And again, we're going to cover some other things. So I think with the rest of Collision, the biggest moment I thought was, so Miro appears, Andrade appears, we get the fun stuff. But the biggest moment was in the 6-man tag. We finally got Samoa Joe and CM Punk in the ring together. First time since, 2004? The summer of 2004. So I think, and that was cool. And here's the thing. I know CM Punk likes to, I do jiu-jitsu with High-End Gracie, High-End Gracie's unfortunately passed away. It's Eva Mendez's, it's Eve Torres's husband. I can't think of his name. He's a Gracie. He does jiu-jitsu with that Gracie. I'm a Gracie blue belt and all this shit. When Samoa Joe got in the ring and was like, yeah, motherfucker, CM Punk, and again, I think it was a little acting, but it was also like, oh man, what? No, like I'm supposed to be the tough guy. What the fuck is this? Samoa Joe. Put him as this fucking fake tough guy. If we're gonna do that with anyone,
CM Punk has aged like a middle-aged man from Chicago, and Samoa Joe has aged like a middle-aged Samoan man, right? I'll tell you who wins most of those fights in everyday life if you've ever run into any of those types of folks, right? Like on average, if you plug average white dude from Chicago versus average Samoan, who you bet your money on, right?
From toddler to fucking senior sitter. That's where you're going with Samoan all the time.
Justin Floor in the chat says, we're all getting worked, boys. They got us. Hey, listen, I'll tell you this. Well, let me tell you this, Justin Floor. Even if they were all sitting in a room and crafting every bit of this, right? And thereby we're all getting worked, I'm still not wrong about CM Punk, right? I'm just not, like, everything I said is still true and applies very heavily.
Yeah. I think
allegedly to anything that could be sued over.
Right. I think, maybe but I also think there are real feelings. That's the thing that I get tired of. And I'm not saying Justin is saying this, but when you see Twitter bots, right? The WWE warriors, where it's like, it's all nothing. It's like, it is something. Could you fucking cut the shit? Like, there is real feelings around here. My thing, and even CM Punk said it in the ESPN interview with Mark Romani, is like, this happens in every other, and he said sport, which we won't get into that debate, but in every other sport, hockey, basketball, football, teammates get into fights and then they move past it. And that's where I thought immediately, oh shit, I don't think the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega have ever been in this situation, so they don't know how to move past it, right? There is no coach that goes over to them like, all right, let's get the next rep in. They want to take their ball and go home and say, fuck that guy forever. So I think there's a little of that is interesting to me. Now, whether we do this match and all that stuff, here's my thing. I don't give a fuck. CM Punk is fun on a promo when he wants to be. And that's it.
That's what I'm saying. We'll get a few more of these, right? Where it'll be a work shoot promo. He'll have, but his matches are not good. They're not good. And that's what I mean. We'll get a few of these. And this one was unfocused, like you said. And that's he even admitted, he's like kind of just went off the cuff. Well, man, that worked okay enough because we're all bought in on this, right? Because this is one of the biggest stories to hit wrestling in a long time, right? But if you're doing that in a year, if you make it that far, against Wardlow, right, we are not going to give a shit. Yeah. He does. His promo ability is better than most. I will say that. My biggest thing is it's kind of the reverse, how we've always talked about on this podcast for the last 10 years, is we always say the moves don't matter, make the fucking stories great. I really think Punk does a decent job of making you care about the story. It's the match when you go, oh, you can't do this buckshot lariat. Oh shit, you can't do it again. Hey man, you look dumb. Like, it's such an eyesore because, as I've mentioned, since back in Ring of Honor the first time around, he's the most unathletic famous wrestler we've ever had. There's no one, maybe Great Khali, but that's because of his size. But like, Punk's matches have never been good. Can we break down the CM Punk promo post-return, right? After the 7-year break. Oh, there's been good, right? They're good. I'm like you're saying, he's still better than most in many ways. But I will say that, like, they're only really hitting when he's able to infuse this personal drama, right? Whether the it was MJF. The absence, whether it was MJF, right? And so, like, I would say that's the best example of what you said since he's come back, his go back and forth with MJF. But anything outside of that has felt like it's kind of this. It's a bit dud, and the only moments are when he's kind of delusional about what's happening between him and the person. So I don't know that, like, he's definitely not peaked. Or I mean, he's peaked already. He's definitely not the peak of his promo ability in my I don't know, view anymore. But like, I don't know. Yeah, well, the return was the CM Punk plays the hits return. That's the problem. Is CM Punk was never the Hulk Hogan must pose and do the ear pose, and all that shit. He was the, I'm here to speak for you. Let's go fight the authority. But when that guy does, it's great to be back. I'm happy. Hey, look at this young group of wrestlers. Send Hook. This is fun. Like, regardless of All Out, like, it wasn't hitting because that's not him. Now, we've kind of soured on him, a portion of the AEW audience. So maybe we do start to get the fight the power. The power is the elite. I don't know. But let's get into tonight's AEW Dynamite, because we still got picks. Right before we do that, one other thing that happened that we failed to touch on, and we mentioned his name. Okay. But Wardlow lost the TNT title to Luchasaurus. Just look. I understand investing in people and trying to make the future bright for the company. I think personally, and I said this even back when it was the Pinnacle days,
But Jim Ross has got you all worked up to think that Wardlow was the shit. It was always Jim Ross that said, this is a blue chipper. Look how he moves. No one else fucking said that, ever. It was always Jim Ross, which, whatever, he can.
Jim Ross has said that about a lot of folks devoid of charisma. A lot of folks devoid. He said that about Jack Swagger.
He said it about his fucking best friend, Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Yeah.
That guy did not have it at all. So what I'm saying is, I think Jim Ross got into the powers that be, whether that's Tony Khan, Christopher Daniels, whoever it is that said Wardlow's the shit. And to his credit, Wardlow, that ladder match that he had against Christian, will fucking give it his all. Will fucking give it his all. And I give him all of the credit in the world.
Yeah.
But look, man, there's singers in the entertainment industry that can sing better than Beyonce that ain't making the hits because they ain't got it. And that's what I'm saying with Wardlow. We need to scrap this whole, he's the man. Put him in a tag team. Make him, honestly, what I would do, I would have him go away for a while, repackage him, figure out the story, but just cosmetically, put him with Brian Cage, make him a tag team, make him run through the tag team division. Because by themselves, both of them suck. Together, looking at them, they're the new fucking skyscrapers. Remember with Sid Vicious and all that in WCW? Like, that's them. But that's they can't fucking talk.
Let's get Stokely Hathaway managing Brian Cage and Wardlow as like a bulldog tag team.
Prince Nana is not bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we have to like get the top tier manager. I'm just saying put them in a tag team, make them your version of AOP. Remember how cool AOP was for a moment in time when they were just throwing people around? Wardlow and Brian Cage could do that.
Or they could even be the new APA, right? They could just be hanging out back.
Yep, exactly.
Just drinking or whatever, right? Whatever was safe for 2023 television, right? Whatever Warner Brothers will approve. But they're doing something cool in the back, and then somebody comes up and is like, hey, right, MJF throws down some money, right? I need
take care of him.
Somebody, take care of this Jungle Boy asshole, right? And then we get, bam, boom, right? Through some tables.
I got the segment. You know what would be fun? Okay, we're going off a tangent. We have a lot to cover, so I'm gonna make it quick. Here's what I thought of when you said backstage they're doing something. Have them fucking playing the video game where they're fighting each other. Have Wardlow be Wardlow, and he's wrestling Brian Cage. In AEW
every
Fight
time
Forever.
they're just always fighting each other. And somebody comes in, and they're like, "Hey, I need something." They're like, "What?" And they're like, "Can you look at me?" I'm like, "No, I'm in the middle. Like, you see, I'm fucking doing something, right?" And they're fighting, throws the money down, they pause, right? And they look up, Then as soon as they like agree to the deal, they take the money, they just back to the video game, right? And
they never finish the match.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the funniest thing.
It's an ongoing Iron Man match, right? At some point, it's like 115, 112. Yeah.
Yes. That'd be funny.
No, it's always a best of, right? And that's what they're like. Somebody will win. They'll be like, best of 47. All right, best of 47. And they go on.
Yeah. But long story short, Wardlow ain't it so good.
Tony Khan, look, you hired other podcasters. We're telling you, we got hey man, we've got this on lock for you. Hit us up, Tim and Tom, professional wrestling writing services at tableshow@gmail.com.
Right,
ready to sign. Ready to sign. We got a talent agent, goes by the name of Roscoe Leach, but.
Yep. He loves doing deals. He'll do a deal for us at a drop of a hat. His own hat.
Yeah.
Speaking of AEW Fight Forever.
I like that hat. All right, never mind.
Don't goddamn go that way. Speaking of AEW Fight Forever, you saw it on the big screens as the Hardy Boys were coming out because they were supplementing some of the AEW Fight Forever graphics and moves from Matt and Jeff Hardy into their entrance video. Thought that was a good touch.
Yep.
And that's how we could kick off AEW Dynamite. It is the Hardys brothers taking on the Ass Boys or the Guns, who are also brothers. And this was a match. Here's the one thing, and we talked about this, and I don't know how I feel, because in this regard, I don't think it would have fit. But we mentioned, and I said at the almost half-year awards, that the best entrance this year was when the Guns came out to 50 Cent's Mini Men. And I kind of want them to always do that, but then I also kind of want them to only do it for the big matches. But their entrance, even with their silly Western song, is fucking cool. The way Short Gun, little pistol gun, spits twice like that, fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then you got Shotgun over there winking at you and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm calling him Shotgun and Pistol from now on.
Yeah, Shotgun and Pistol. I am all in on the Guns, man. For whatever reason, right? Like, they're not all that good, right? But you
just want to hit them.
I'm like, yeah, but it's weird that I'm like, I don't like those guys, but I smile every time because I'm like, I really don't like those guys. You know, it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing.
Exactly.
It's great. I want to shout out Justin Floor in the chat here on the last topic. He said, our new tag team, the new Acolytes, right? They'll be playing the exploding barbed wire death match, but they'll never get to the end because they keep getting interrupted.
Yes. Perfect. That is perfect.
Yes.
That's the detail.
Yes.
Going back to Dynamite here tonight, Hardys versus Guns. It was a match. It happened. It was kind of your standard AEW. Let's get the fun stuff in, except for at the end, we had the Rubber Band Club cost the match for the Hardys. The Guns get the victories. Again, maybe it was just you gave us a favor, we will repay it. But seems like maybe the Guns are in Bullet Club with Jay White and Rock Hard. The Rock is hard. Rock Hard Juice Robinson. And this is when all hell breaks loose, right? So the Guns win, which, side note, I put this on our Twitter at Table Show while I live tweet during AEW Dynamite. The Guns quietly now have victories over the Hardys and FTR.
Yeah.
Interesting to say that out loud.
Yeah.
So then they go and they're hitting the Hardys in the head because fuck them, they're old, right? They're stupid paint. Hit him in the face, you know? This one's balding. I'm hitting him, you know? And they're going and they're hitting each other in the head or hitting them in the head. And then Ricky Starks, Mr. Suave himself, says, I'll beat these guys up. I don't like that fucking caveman looking cocksucker. He goes into the ring and gets outnumbered. Motherfucker, this sucked. Then here comes the undercover cops from the crowd, FTR. They jump in and they say, well, we'll get it. And they're still outnumbered. And then here it is. Chicago's favorite son, which may say more about the city than it does about the man. CM Punk runs down and he makes the save.
Yeah.
And then fun thing at the end, which I thought was just maybe him trolling us a little bit. He says at Collision on Saturday, basically it's this group in the ring versus you guys out there on the floor. And I'm a Collision guy. I shouldn't even be here. I think that was trolling us a little bit to make us go, ooh, see, I think he's like, go fuck yourself. But what'd you think of the first segment here?
Yeah, a lot, right? Again, multi-man match, tag match, melee, right? CM Punk, right? It was a lot, right? It was bam, 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 which I get. You're trying to start the show off, and we get a wink, wink, CM Punk. All right, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, fine, right? I just ultimately I was like, if we got a Hogan must pose with CM Punk now,
but it's Chicago.
Right.
I think that's why it was
true.
Chicago.
It's Chicago. Yeah.
I don't think if this is
like the reason the Chicago pop is loud because Chicago fans love the Chicago guy, but like Chicago is like one of the biggest cities in the fucking world. So like there's just going to be a shit ton of those people there, right? Like it's not like, I mean, these people didn't choose to be born in Chicago. They were just born in Chicago. Half of them are fucking dumb and they're like, Chicago. Yeah. All right. So
the city was great when we visited.
Oh yeah, of course. I said half, right? The other half are fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, if you took offense
we're talking
to
about
it,
like fucking dozens of millions, right?
Yeah. And if you took offense to it, you know who you are. The thing that I thought was honestly the most interesting was Ricky Starks, because I know Ricky Starks has the beef with Jay White and Juice Robinson, which is fine. But I'm actually interested in potentially, if we keep this going and spin it off, Ricky Starks, CM Punk.
Yes, love that. Hey, why does Ricky Starks seem like the guy who will like invite you onto his yacht and he's got a big yacht, but you don't know like what that guy does or how he has money, right? Like, what is he? He looks like that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of like, how are you this rich? And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it, babe. Let's go.
He's like, I work.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do for work?
Yeah.
Well, obviously I work like you do.
Investments.
Yeah. I work like you do.
Yeah,
so what do you do? I work like you do.
Yeah. I got a job.
Yeah, I got a job.
9 to 5, baby. 9 to 5, baby. Yeah.
I work and I make a paycheck.
Yeah, man.
What is it?
I stay on that grind, baby. Just always a different metaphor, right? Yeah, I work, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I stay on that grind. Yep. 9 to 5, clock in, clock out every day, man, just like you, man.
Yep. Here we are. There we go. All right. So that's what we get. Looks like Collision will be the multi-man CM Punk show for the start of it. And we'll see how that goes. Now, we move on and we go to the concession stand brawl match, which was the most video game way to start a fucking match that I absolutely loved. It was right out of WWE versus SmackDown when you did the backstage brawl and they just started there. Like, if it's a concession stand brawl, I love that they didn't do the entrances and got them to the ring and then had them fight to where then they get to the concession stand. No, start it right there. I liked how everyone was like, are you ready? Are you? Yeah, all that stuff. Very fun. Thought that was good. Despite Jeff Jarrett, which he was in this shit. Mark Briscoe made it because Mark Briscoe is the man forever. Here is a plot hole, Tim. You want to get into the plot holes? Here's the first one that I noticed. So, Mark Briscoe's getting beat up by fucking God knows everyone from that Team TNA. It's Karen Jarrett. It's Pencil Man. It's Jay Lethal. It's the big tall guy, right?
Yeah.
Plot
it's
hole.
the AEW Amos.
Yeah, but plot hole, we just saw the segment before FTR, and I understand that they were fighting the Bang Bang Club, right? But they were a part of how this whole fucking story started. You would think they would be like, well, fuck, we got to go back out there one more time to help our guy, Mark Briscoe. Nope. They said, hey, man, we got to shower up, get to the next town. Like, what the hell was that about?
Yeah.
They were a part of this storyline. It wasn't as if they've like splintered off and Briscoe went this way and FTR went this way. This was them in the genesis of Team TNA versus AEW guys. Like, so you don't show up for your guy? Like, I would say if I was Mark Briscoe next week, hey, I'll join up with eventually Best Friends come, Lucha Bros come, someone else, was it? No, I think those guys come.
Right.
If I'm Mark Briscoe the next week, I go, hey, Lucha Bros, thanks so much. We go way back. Love you. By the way, fuck FTR. Like, we're just like, those guys suck as friends. Yeah. What the hell? But what did you think? What did you think of the whole concession stand brawl? All of it?
Just that, right? Wild, zany. It was reminiscent, right, of like a WWE thing, now that you mention it, like by being named, right? The concession stand brawl, right?
And starting right there, yeah.
Right, yeah. Hey, fine. Again, it felt like, all right, we're playing a lot of the like all in on the circus tonight, right? Like everybody from the back, let's go. This is 2 segments back to back. We hit that hard, right?
Love it. I do like that. I love when it's chaos. Again, go back to prime ECW 95, 96, 97, 98. It's everyone's bumping into each other. So more the better. Is also, here it is. It's Christopher Daniel. That was the other guy that came out to help out Mark Briscoe. The other thing that I think we should mention is, as I said, Karen Jarrett was making herself very present with dick punches all around to Mark Briscoe at every turn she could get.
Yeah.
Did you catch? Taps. Yeah. Did you catch old AEW Rampage when Aubrey gave the whole guitar fucking shot and made her in-ring debut?
Had to give the receipt, right?
I guess that was
that moment of Aubrey running down and just getting walloped.
Oh, well, yeah. At the pay-per-view. That was the best. Yeah, that was the best.
That's the best Karen Jarrett moment ever, right?
Probably. Yeah, it was amazing.
I did not expect that at all. And they, for missing a lot of shots, they nailed that one, right? They nailed that one.
Side note, and I'm choosing to move past it, but tonight, another shit night for their production team. So many times the wrestlers even bend over backwards for you to get the fucking things, and you missed it. Bryan Danielson twice cut a promo into the camera, and you cut away from him both fucking times. Anyhow, here's the other fun thing I want to say about this segment.
Hey, listen, let me ask you this. Would you take AEW production as it stands right now for the rest of time, or for the rest of time, you got to get the Harvey jerky cam of the WWE like beatdowns when they were like this over and over.
Still better.
Still better.
Because at least you're seeing it. You're still seeing it.
It made me feel like I was having a fucking seizure.
Well, but at the end of the day, you could say, man, I felt sick when I saw Bobby Lashley beating Big E.
I wanted to vomit.
Yeah. Right. AEW, Jim Ross has to fucking slur his way through saying, oh, by the way, you missed it up top. The fucking bulb,
WWE would squeeze 3 zooms in a frame.
But you still saw it. That's my thing. You have to see the shit, right? Like,
yeah, true that. Yeah, at least you saw it.
Yeah, my poor wife. This is why I picked WWE. It fucking sucked too when they were doing that. They've calmed down a little bit, but they were at one time really into that shit, right?
That zoom in and out the fucking Hervey cam. Yeah, that was whenever that guy was doing it. Was the Bischoff's dude.
Yeah, that guy.
Right? Yeah, I think it was the guy behind that, I thought.
But my wife will not last another year at AEW production this rate, because every fucking episode ends with me just going, how the fuck does any of these high school level camera guys and production guys have a fucking job? They're such bullshit.
Your wife,
the best person in the world.
The best person. Yeah, she's great.
Easily. Yeah.
Now, you and I, and your wife and her friends separately, we all went to Tacos and Tequila Festival this weekend, right? Threw it back to the early 2000s. Saw some
Little John.
We left during Flo Rida.
He sucked.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Got some Montel Jordan, who's a preacher now, and decided to stop all of his songs when they got to the non-preachery parts, which was really weird. And we saw some Lucha Libre wrestling. We saw all kinds of fun stuff. Your wife, I told her upon seeing her, I said, hey, listen, you're going to have to stop saying to the public that you're not a wrestling fan. But meanwhile, you're out here in an Andre the Giant T-shirt.
Well,
busted.
But I will back her up on this. She loves the Princess Diaries, or is it Diaries Bride? What's that one?
Bride.
Princess Bride. Yeah,
right.
Loves a Princess Bride. So she loved Andre the Giant before she ever met him.
Okay,
so I will give her that. Yeah.
Okay,
but she's a wrestling fan because I yell it into her ears all the time, unfortunately, because I'm a fucking psycho.
Stockholm syndrome. She just knows cowboy shit, and she's like, yeah.
Oh, yep. Oh, she can tell you who the best promos are. She loves Eddie Kingston. Right?
Well, who doesn't?
But yeah, we'll
talk more about Eddie Kingston as we discuss AEW Dynamite.
But what I was going to say, that was a quick side note. Back on track here. The other fun note that I liked about this, Penta beating people up in a goddamn Armani shirt.
Yeah,
that shit's like $700.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You can get a Coke on that or a beer. What the fuck are you doing?
Love it. The thing with Penta is we can't get it from him, but if we get his little always wearing gloves hype man, whatever his name is, Abraham Lincoln, right? Whatever he is. And right? Isn't that his name? Get him to, like, Penta being like, this is a $700 shirt, right? And he'll be like, it's a set, like the old Ric Flair style, right? But get the hype man talking about his Rolly, right? His shoes, right? Because he's always dressed in the nines. Dude is pimped out. Let's get him bragging about it.
And if he is only doing an interview segment, pimp out that fucking mask, talk about the jewels that he put on it and stuff like that. Perfect. Love that idea. So that happened. Mark Briscoe wins. Papa Briscoe was also involved. He's fun. He is
fun. It's weird. If you told me on paper, I'd be like, Jesus, I don't want to see this. But he pulls it off. And for whatever reason, it feels like he's not even acting, right? They're just like, hey, just say this. And he's like, all right, I'll fucking say that, whatever.
Yeah, he's everything John Cena's dad wishes he was. You know what I mean? Like John Cena's dad. Mrs. Dad. You remember that? Yeah, I'm going to fight you. Yeah, they suck.
Miz has a lot of like mental health, self-esteem issues because of his dad's fuckery. Like,
Oh yeah,
he's
because that guy
weird.
is a
He's weird.
bad father from all accounts, allegedly.
Mhm.
All right. Then after that, backstage, Blackpool Combat Club is talking. Conveniently enough, Don Callis and Takeshita, though, are also standing there. So that led me to believe, are we all a big happy family, or is this just the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing? I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I wish they could find a way. I don't want to be hit over the head with everything in storylines and promos, right? I like subtlety.
Mhm.
But sometimes I think clarification on some things is needed, right?
Yep.
If the plan is not Don Callis and Takeshita are BCC,
Mhm.
and none of the storyline hinges around any sort of vagueness in that, right? Like any sort of like, ooh, are they, aren't they? Then let's make it clear pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? An
Also-
offhand comment from somebody like Daniel Bryan, he's a pro, he can figure it out, right? But
Bryan
let's get
Danielson.
excuse me. Sorry, this on the day really fucks with me, right?
Yeah,
like people are
no, I
naming
got you.
things. All right.
Yeah, and I got you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's get some sort of clarification because I don't feel like they are, but they're not making it easy for me to succinctly say they definitely aren't.
And with this detail specifically is, let's not forget the scar on Don Callis's head is from Jon Moxley. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part. If they never had any physicality, hey, we're just associates.
Yeah,
Okay.
if
I can believe
anything,
that.
Don
But I need
Callis
to know,
should have had like some sort of like weird memory loss and like
or
was
just a
now
tick
with
when he gets,
Moxley and like under the spell, right? Yeah.
or just has a weird tick when he gets too close to him. Like he just puts his hands up for no fucking reason.
Yeah,
you know,
every time
something like
Moxley
that.
enters the room, he's like, he just fucking
Yeah.
covers his shit.
Yeah, something. But
He
something needs
ducks
to be
real
said
quick like a
because there was
fucking
physicality.
PTSD veteran.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But yeah, something needs to be said there. That's all I would ask there. All right, so then we get back into the ring. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Minoru Suzuki, the fucking
Holy shit.
MVP of this match, took on Action Andretti, AR Fox, and Darius Martin, who, credit to him, roles are reversed. The other Martin brother is out with an injury. He got to get all the shine. Now that guy's out.
Oh, the other one's the one
Darius
who
is
like
in.
Sid Vicious his
Broke his
leg,
leg.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. But now Darius Martin is getting his shot, and he looked great in this match. He did all the fun
Yeah.
spots he could. But as mentioned, Minoru Suzuki was the MVP.
That was the wow moment of the night, was hearing like Suzuki. I didn't realize if they had announced that already, I didn't get that news. And so when they announced Suzuki, I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh, we got to watch this now.
Yep. Yeah, and this was fun. I like that everyone kind of got their shit in, right? Darius Martin got to do his stuff. AR Fox got to do his stuff. Sammy Guevara got to flip with them. Jericho kept up for as long as he could. Minoru Suzuki no-sold everything and then beat the fuck out of everybody, which was great.
It's like his favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and Jericho put the old school lion tamer on Darius Martin, not the Boston
the
Crab.
fucking full 90-degree.
The one that I maybe don't like you in real life.
On your fucking neck and chest, right? Like,
the you're going to feel this on the ride home.
Popping the C5 vertebrae out of place today.
Probably. And so they get the victory there, right? So as they should. It's Chris Jericho and Minoru Suzuki. They shouldn't be losing to that team. So right call there.
Correct.
Post-match, Renee Paquette gets in the ring, says, Jericho, last week you and Sting were in the ring. How fun. He says, hit the bricks.
That's exactly what she said, isn't it? How fun.
How fun. And Jericho says, hey, wasn't that cool? Me and Sting in the same ring together. You loved that. You were so entertained. I wasn't. I think he sucks. Here's the thing. 3 of us right here are going to fight you and your little school shooter best friend, Darby Allin, but you get another school shooter and see if you motherfuckers can paint your faces and fight us on Sunday night. I'm kidding here. Obviously.
Hey, listen, hold on. Again, Tony Khan, all I'm saying is consider us. These are suggestions. You don't have to take all the suggestions, albeit that's a good one. If his promo was that, I'm instantly more interested, right?
Well,
but I get Warner Brothers Discovery may not appreciate it. So we
That
could
makes
we
sense.
could leave that one maybe on the cutting room floor, but we'd love to be in the conversation, at least give you these.
Yeah, if you want to say that on a pay-per-view, you know what I mean? But so Sting comes out with Darby
We have a little
Allin.
tag team of the school shooters.
Yeah.
No,
Trench coat mafia in this bitch. Ooh, that goes back to Combine. Sorry.
Yeah.
Moving on. Sting comes out with Darby Allin. And he goes, that was a fun time. My favorite part of the whole thing, though, is Sting looks to the crowd and goes, he's cussing under his breath at me.
Yeah.
Jericho's like, motherfucker. He's
Yeah,
like, he's
yeah.
cussing it. Why? Like, he
Yeah.
was genuinely
Yeah.
like, what's up with this guy? And so, long story short, they accept. And Darby says, we ain't going to tell you who our third person is. But remember, you have a lot of enemies all over the place. So, Tim, who's the mystery partner? There is a right answer.
Oh, you know, oddly enough, I mean, I'm going to admit I was doing other things while the show was going on, right? I was kind of trying to split my attention, but I didn't consider who this mystery partner was going to be, right? I was just kind of like, oh, it's going to be interesting to find that out. But you say you've got the answer.
It's right here.
Hmm.
It's Naito. Remember, they fought for the Intercontinental Championship, went back and forth. Naito fucking hates his gut. Is Naito on the card? Nope. Sting and Darby need someone from New Japan. So
That's
get
right.
the eyeball guy.
It's New Japan, so it's got to be. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
There it is. Naito.
Are we going to get. Does it end there with Sting and Chris Jericho, or are we going to get Chris Jericho versus Sting one-on-one?
No, I don't think so. I think this is where their story ends. And I think in some roundabout way, we get back to Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Something happens because again, Sammy keeps on stepping back, not really saying things, not like, because one thing that was interesting is Chris Jericho went for the sex god pose, but it was Minoru Suzuki, who again, fucking production team missed a shot, caught his ass. That's cool. That's what I wanted to see in that. And he did it instead. So I thought that was an interesting detail.
Yeah.
So I think this is where it ends. And then Sammy and Chris Jericho do their thing.
Yeah, because we've seen enough of Sting to know, like, he's not doing many matches all out, and neither is Jericho at this age. So, like, both of them against each other, they'd have to work a tag match, which is what this is, so it should end there. This one might upset you if we're ranking our, like, you know, greatest of all time, 1 through 50 or whatever. I think I put Chris Jericho higher than Sting on mine.
Well, that's fucking wrong.
As far as like people, you know, as like, are they good people? That may not be the case, right? But like, you know,
well,
but as far as like storylines I was interested in and matches that I loved and things from their totality of their career, I'm probably giving more to Chris Jericho than I'm giving to Sting. And that might just be due to age, right?
Yeah,
but you're
and
younger and you
rose-colored.
like Sting. Yeah.
Well, and you also have rose-colored glasses because a lot of what Chris Jericho did was, and we're not going to go into a big tangent, maybe on the next episode, but a lot of what Chris Jericho did throughout his entire career until Kevin Owens was mid. Oh, he beat Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the same night. It wasn't a fucking about him, was it?
You know what
Did
I
he
liked?
ever main event?
You know what I liked about Jericho, and it was late WCW Jericho and early WWF Jericho up until about that time where he became the first undisputed champion, right? Where
he was losing
I think
to China.
I was coming of age, and he, like, the way he kind of presented himself as like a fuck you, I'm the turn the punch bowl to everybody's seriousness, right? Kind of thing. Like, he was a unique character in that regard, right? And that's why I think he spoke to me then. At the same time, Sting was like, you know, I was NWO guy, so I just think Sting fell, unfortunately, to me being a deviant, right? Like, I like the NWO, right? I like the sophomoric grab your dick, you know, smell my dick antics of a Chris Jericho and a DX, right? And Sting was always, you know, like, you know, for the kids, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. And then even when it was the Crow, it was like the forces of good. And I think, fuck you, right? Like, I think that's why, you know, because I'm crass, I think.
Okay, but the coolest moment still goes to Sting when he fucking suspended down from the rafters, fought off the NWO, and then snapped up fucking Diamond Dallas Page off the fucking floor and went back up into the rafters. What did fucking Chris Jericho ever do that was that cool? Wear fucking platforms that made him 6 foot?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
But
and also, here's the other thing.
Trade.
No. Now we're going. We're going into it.
I might have went somewhere dark.
Now we're getting into it. Because you do
Speaking
talk
of
about
repelling.
the end talking about the end of Chris Jericho in started WWF. He had the cool promo with The Rock, right? Then he gets power bombed 6 fucking times for 9 fucking months. It felt like by Road Dogg. Was that your fucking favorite time with Chris Jericho?
No.
Or was it the time he was losing the Intercontinental Championship to China? Was that your fucking favorite time? Let's go back over to WCW. Was your favorite fucking time the time he lost to Dean Malenko? Remember those fucking stellar matches that no one can fucking recall, but we always say.
Oh yeah. No, listen, I'm not saying everything that he did was great.
Fuck out of here.
But I'm saying of moments that I remember, I probably put the Jericho ones higher than the majority of the Sting
totally
ones.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Nope, you're wrong. Look, Jericho is better.
Sting was a step away from train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins most of his career.
Fuck yeah, he was. And in 1992, you fucking needed it. Do you forget about the goddamn matches that Sting and Lex Luger had against the Steiner brothers? Do you forget about the fucking feud Sting had with the... Do you forget about the feud Sting had with the Great Muta? Do you forget about the fucking legendary matches he had with Ric Flair? Do you forget about the fucking awesome match he had with Jake the Snake Roberts? Name another awesome Jake the Snake Roberts match.
So that's it, right? Like
the Sting, because he has
Ric Flair stuff. That's like that was happening. You know, I was honed in WWF, right? I was Hogan. From King Kong Bundy versus Hogan until Nitro. I was all WWF.
Ew. Well, get on Peacock or the network if you have a VPN and watch.
I mean, I've seen the stuff. I just, the childhood nostalgia,
Go to New Japan and watch Sting's matches over there with Vader. Sting's match with Cactus Jack. How many times do I gotta tell you and everybody that watches this show there is nothing cool in Japan? Well, Sting was cool. Yeah, but Sting was cool. Sting can go anywhere and he's cool. Sting's matches with Vader. Sting's matches with Cactus Jack. Again, like I said, name another iconic match that Jake the Snake Roberts had. Amazing promo, not that great in the ring. Yeah. Maybe Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's it.
Sting, they're close. I'm not saying they're like wildly different. I'm saying
they're close. Look, they're close. They are close. I'm not saying that we're 1 in 30 here.
Right, yeah. But I'm not saying that either. But I'm just saying Chris Jericho's probably right about
it. 100% Sting. Sting all the way. Hey, we go backstage on AEW Dynamite, and the Elite are there. But are they? If you read the dirt sheets, who the fuck cares? I'm watching on TV. They're not in my house, so what the fuck do I care if they're there or not? But the Elite are talking backstage, and they're like, oh, you asshole BCC. You knew that Kenny already had a match with Ospreay, so then you challenged a match to us. What the fuck do you think we're going to do? Well, we got a friend. And in the coolest fucking moment, Eddie Kingston's like, hey.
Yeah. I popped. I really was like, oh, shit. Not who I expected.
I watched it 3 times back, and then I made my wife watch it. I was like, look at this. This is fun. And she's like, I'm reading. I'm like, yeah, I know. Pause the book. Look at this. And he goes, yeah.
Yeah. I know. That's why I was trying to show you something entertaining.
Yeah, that was Eddie Kingston. And Eddie Kingston says, hey, look.
Put down your medical journals and watch Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. Yeah, stop learning things and fucking learn Eddie Kingston. But Eddie Kingston says, I don't like you, Bucks. Don't like any of you. Or Hangman, because that's the other thing. We always, side note, we'll get back into it because I'm going into a lot of side notes. We always direct our hate at the Young Bucks and then Kenny Omega, but we never include Hangman. And not us, I'm just saying collectively us, right? Hangman seems to always skirt those criticisms. It's always like,
Hangman's their
Bucks.
Hangman is their redeeming quality. And Kenny Omega is 2, right? Mm-hmm. And then the Young Bucks are, 7 through 24. Yeah,
but so Eddie Kingston, so Eddie
they're
Kingston
instantly
says,
cooler when Hangman is there.
Sure. And Eddie Kingston says here, hey, I hate Claudio, so I'm going to join your team. But fuck you.
Yeah, he's like, I don't
Now,
respect you. I don't like you.
Yeah.
You suck. I think you smell bad. Paraphrasing.
But then he says, there's one spot open. I get to call it. Okay. Fuck you guys. I get to call it.
Yeah.
And the Elite say, fine.
Well, and this is why you got to learn Eddie Kingston, because you'll find out later what the master had in mind.
Yep. So then after that, Adam Cole comes out. This was fun, but I'm not going to go into too much detail because, again, we got so much to cover. He essentially says, I want my rematch. And MJF comes out and says, suck it. No. And then he goes, well, that's bullshit. You're a coward. No, I'm not. No. And then Tanahashi comes up on the screen. He's like, I want to face you, man. Come on. What's up? And MJF is like, for the millionth time, no.
Yeah.
And then Adam Cole, whose ability, I think his like superhero ability, if this was all comics, which they love, would be to get under MJF's skin. Like no one does it as quick as Adam Cole so far. And Adam Cole's like, but I thought you said you're like the best. So you obviously think Tanahashi's better than you. And then he goats him into like, I'll take you on, Tanahashi. All the while, in something that I still don't understand, so I didn't go into much detail about it. But apparently there's a randomizer tag team tournament match. And Adam Cole and MJF are tag team partners now. I don't know what the fuck that's about or why. Shut up, Schiavone was the fun line here, or Schiavone, however you want to say it.
There used to be something back in the WCW days. What was the Lethal Lottery or something like that, where they would like make these, they would draw tag teams that would compete in a tournament. And then if you won your tag team match, you were then in like the Battle Royal or something, right? Like, wasn't that the thing?
Well, they would do that on Clash of Champions where you could call in before it was Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday.
Yeah,
you
there was
call
something
into
like
Clash
that,
Championship, and you could say, out of these three people, who do you want to team together? But I don't know. This wasn't.
Yeah, this just look. It felt like, hey man, you guys, you built a whole tournament around finding a way to pair Adam Cole and MJF in a tag team.
Well, we don't know the rest of it. Yeah.
I mean, we don't know the rest of it at the time, right? But that's what they break out during this segment, and that's where it kind of started connecting to me. And I kudos for not just saying like, we have a GM that's just weird. That's like, I want to see you two in a tag team match, right? The old WWE trope.
Right. And I also think if we are doing the randomizer tag teams, maybe we get another version of Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland that becomes the champs that takes on FTR. You know what I mean?
I hate the idea. The reason I hate the idea is because we go randomizer. Oh, son of a bitch, right? Our biggest storyline, these two got paired together on the first draw, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's
Jesus Christ, guys.
Well, every rom-com, the fucking two people run into each other at a bookstore. You know what I mean? But Tim,
that's not how you got married, Ned.
No, I mean, yeah, of course.
Sure, yeah.
Reading of Mice and Men, and she walked right by.
Yeah, kept sending her notes as a secret admirer, and then she figured it out.
Yeah. Tim.
Yeah.
Man, they're so cool. AEW.
Okay.
This is what they did, man. They listen. Well, so they listen, right?
To the show?
They listen. They listen to the
show. Yeah, they're our biggest fans.
Yeah, they write us all the time. I love it. Thank you so much for the support. But here's the thing. They didn't really have what was going to happen next, right? They're kind of stalled out. So they said, we'll do a randomizer. We know Tim and Tom will give us something, which we just did, Brian Cage and Wardlow. And now we're going to get Brian Cage and Wardlow as the new acolytes. Look at that. You guys, hey, thanks for
But I want to point out that
the
first few are free. We need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're
going to call Mark Sterling.
Yeah, but this is just a wink, right? This is just a we're
That's
there,
what I mean.
Guys. And so
several are free, right? We want you to see what we got, right?
Yeah, first 4 years are free.
Get a little taste. Yeah. Now, at some point we're going to demand royalties. We're just hiring.
Put us on retainer. In time. Yeah, that's what's going to happen with this randomizer.
See how well this new Acolytes goes.
Mm-hmm. So the segment ends with Adam Cole telling MJF, good luck, partner. Ha ha ha. MJF got screwed again. Then we get back into the ring.
The
with
best
some...
moment of that, and again, these guys are good at what they do. You know, we're kind of breezing over, obviously, you know, because they're so good, it can kind of get washed over, right? But the moment was Shivani being like, I have an announcement. And they're both like, shut up, Tony. And he's like, all right, well, be that as it may. And you know what I mean? Like, fuck you. Like, just did it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So then we get back into the ring with some tag team action. Orange Cassidy, Shibata versus Daniel Garcia, Zack Sabre Jr. Very fun. Moves.
Another
moves
all in,
cool.
everybody in, right?
Yeah.
Glory Hole is
cool,
up this weekend.
And so what was interesting to me, though, is Orange Cassidy misses the orange punch and hits Shibata.
Mm-hmm.
They lose. So
yeah, this is first thing he's lost.
I know. In 2023, this is probably, you can count on one hand how many times he's lost on TV and AEW. And so that was interesting. It was a tag match. It wasn't for his championship. But at the end of the match, they said, well, guess what we're going to do now? All four of these motherfuckers are going to wrestle for the international championship. So we'll get to our picks here in just a moment. But that's how it ended. And that was fun. Did you like it? It was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Again, It was all in. It was pop, 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 up, down, hammer, blood, right? All over the place. Good stuff.
All this things.
Make sure to tune in this Saturday. Sunday? Yes.
Sunday. Yep. Alex Marvez is backstage, and he says, we're going to get the scoop from Will Ospreay.
Fuck is this guy still doing here? Is he somebody's fucking husband?
Look, LA Knight had a great dig at Damian Priest and Santos Escobar that I saw online, and I'm going to use it here. Alex Marvez is about as useful as basketball cleats.
Yeah,
like,
that was a great
I don't know. Yeah, I just don't get it. But what was the purpose here is Don Callis. So Will Ospreay says, Canadians are going to kick my ass. Don Callis says, they're greedy, dumb bastards. And I got security, and this will be the favor. Ospreay says, what do you want from me? He goes, nothing, man. Just want to help out a good match, and walks off. So what'd you think? What's happening?
I like this, right? Now we get a little more chance to get some personality and storyline out of all of the amazing people that AEW loves to show us with minimal storylines, right? We get Will Ospreay shitting on Canada, and all the longtime listeners of the Spanish Announce Table, which, by the way, coming up in a month, we have our 10-year anniversary, so we urge you to send us an MP4, an MP3, an email. tableshow@gmail.com, telling us how much you love us and how much we've entertained you over the 10 years, right? But longtime listeners know that a great way to endear yourself to us here at the Spanish Announce Table is to shit on America's hat, Canada. And we're talking to you directly, the Spanish Announce Table Canadian version. Fuck you, we did it first.
And we're still here.
Give me infringement.
And
we're still losers. Here. You guys still here? We 500 plus. Anyway.
Yeah, you deep throat your maple syrup, you cocksucking geese fucks.
So I'm already like, all right, I can get behind this. Will Ospreay hates Canada. Fuck Canada, right? And then we get Don Callis, and he's like, hey, let's hate Canada together. And I'm like, I really get behind this. If we can get team anti-Canada, like instead of team Canada that we had in Impact or TNA, whatever that was, let's get team fuck Canada. And maybe, this is all centered around, Kenny Omega. You hate Kenny Omega. Obviously, I hate Kenny Omega now.
I don't hate Kenny Omega.
No, the Don Callis is saying to Will Ospreay,
I was like, maybe I do.
Yeah, Don Callis is saying to Will Ospreay, saying, look, you hate Kenny Omega. Obviously, I hate Kenny Omega now. He's fucking Canadian. That's why, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, fuck that. And so it may not go farther than that, but I wouldn't mind. Look, if you told me anybody's pairing up with Don Callis, I'm probably going to like him.
Yeah, 100%. I like that you said that, and I thought I said that because I hate so many things. I was like, did I say that? Probably, but I don't think I hate him.
No, I don't think you hate that. I don't even hate Kenny Omega. He's not like favorite or anything like that, but like he's fine, and I don't dislike, right? But yeah.
Side note: when this all ends, this is how I want it to end. In months' time. 7 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it is, whenever we all wrap this shit up, the way Don Callis and Kenny Omega get back together is they're in the ring. Kenny Omega runs to the center of the ring, drops down, and just says, 69 me, Don.
69 me, Don. No, what we get is Kenny Omega has another painting commissioned. We'll get Rob Schamberger, which he ain't going to do it, but he ain't going to do it.
Well,
yeah.
It's the same fucking mania. Here's the same drawing, and it's another.
Love it.
What?
All right.
What were you saying?
So anyway, he gives him a painting, right? He's like, here's a painting, and it's a new version of the painting.
I like that idea. Yeah, it's a great. And it has to be something that like plays off of like Ivan the Terrible, which the initial one does, where Don Callis is cutting down Kenny Omega, something like that. Yeah, I love that idea.
Yes.
Hey, so let's get back into the ring after that, because we'll get our picks in just a second. It was announced, we won't get into it, but Toni Storm is going to take on Willow Nightingale at Forbidden Door, so we'll get that match. And then we get our TBS Championship match, Chris Statlander with her American Sign Language.
You missed something here, because we're back on track nowadays. Things are back to usual here.
Hold on, though. This is what, yes, technically.
Yeah, technically, you're right, because technically this was the main event, wasn't it?
Technically, this was the main event.
This is the main event.
So, what do you, but it's not. It's the segment before the main.
But it is you're right.
It's a hard one.
So it was time for the women.
But it was the main event.
It was main event time for the women.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll let them slide this week.
Yes.
We'll let them slide.
We'll
get you back.
Time for the women.
Yeah.
In the main event.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, trust me. We'll get them back. They'll get back to their Excel spreadsheet.
We need a new punctuation in 2023. A new punctuation symbol for that, like, is this a statement or question? Right? Like, where we're like, yeah, this is the main event. Right? We need a new punctuation. Hit us up, tableshow@gmail.com with your new punctuation examples for that.
Just have it be Robert De Niro's face, you know?
Yeah, just that. Yeah. It's good.
What is he doing here?
I don't know how to draw that every time I'm writing something out. Got to get real good at drawing Robert De Niro's face.
Yeah. All right, but it's Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander versus Taya Valkyrie. Good. Chris Statlander wins. I don't like Taya Valkyrie.
Look,
told you I didn't like
the way I think she was going to win. Again, there was no story for this, so.
Well, there was a story. It just wasn't told.
Yeah.
Because she was mad that she did all the work and Statlander got the victory, right?
Yeah.
I get it. But there was just backstage segments where Tyra was just looking at her, and it's just like, okay. And we've already talked about it. Tyra Valkyrie is not my jam, so did not hate that she lost. And Chris Statlander is. I like that alien. More alien, but go more alien. So she wins. She retains her championship. Then we get to our last segment. Was it the main event? Robert De Niro face. But Eddie Kingston's out. And first thing he just says is, hey, I'm fat after surgery. I like ice cream. Got to put a shirt on. Which, why didn't you put a shirt on? I love Eddie Kingston. This is why I love Eddie Kingston.
Here's what I envision. Eddie Kingston is in whatever, or nearby, whatever they call Gorilla, right, for AEW. He's hanging out. Somebody's there, and he's like, oh, shit, man, Bill, right, whatever. I haven't fucking seen you in fucking 7 months. Yeah, the shoulder is fucking coming. Anyway, later tonight, we're going to go to a strip club. We're going to hit some fucking, somebody's like, hey, Eddie, you're spotting. He's like, huh? He's like, oh, really? And he's like, okay, fine. Right? And he goes running out there. He's like, shit, I was going to put this shirt on. Yeah. That's what I envision. And that's what I want to believe with Eddie Kingston, right? That he was just so in the moment with whatever's going on. They're like, hey, music's playing. And he's like, mine? Oh, shit. All right, let's go.
I saw someone put on some social media site that with Eddie Kingston, no one told him that pro wrestling is scripted and we're for the better of it. Like we're 100%. For the better. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so this is what I want to get to. Obviously, he goes out, he starts cutting his promo, like you said, and invokes the name of John Moxley, and like Candyman, he appears, right? And
which was cool.
That
was cool how he came. No music, just walks out.
100%.
Gets in there.
Loved all of that. And this is what, because like Eddie Kingston feels like Eddie Kingston doesn't realize this is a TV show, that this took me back to so many moments in my life. Do you know how many people I have had in my life that both looked somewhat like Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley? I mean, Jon Moxley's a massive man, but you know what I mean? They look like that, right? They're in a tank top, in a leather jacket, beard, right? Like fucking hat cocked to the side, talking shit against each other, not really saying anything other than like, I fucking hate you. Yeah, well, you fucking suck, right? Like, I don't fucking like you either, right? And, you know, I love you, but I'm going to fucking beat you up, right? Like, it is so real. It is so relatable with those two specifically, and Eddie Kingston all the time.
Yeah, Moxley does a great job too. Yes, but there are more times than not where it's a promo, which is not bad.
Yeah,
but again,
Eddie Kingston feels like he took the karaoke mic at the ber and is getting things off his chest every time.
Yeah, and Moxley puts the beer down and is like, I got to get my friend down, and then they do the whole thing that you've seen a million times.
He's like,
give
me the mic.
History.
He's like, fuck you, man. You fucking didn't pay me back for the $20.
Oh, you think that's what a relationship is $20?
You just think because you got promoted that you're better than me.
God damn it, Eddie. I worked for that promotion. I worked for it. Well, you can do this.
I fucked your sister.
I knew it. God damn it. I know she. Yeah. Oh, cool. You fucked my sister. Who has it?
Who bought the case of beer at the last fucking barbecue, John? Who bought it? Who bought it, John? Right?
Oh, well, you thought I was because I got the promotion? Anyhow. But what was actually said.
These are all my uncles, basically. It's a short way to say these are my mom's brothers.
Yeah. So Jon Moxley, though, comes through the crowd and says, hey, you know what they say. You either stand behind us, stand beside us, or you stand against us. And Eddie instantly was like, no. Look, I've screwed up a lot, but motherfucker, you started this. When you sided with that asshole Claudio, you know what that history was, so you fucked this up.
Yeah. You know how many times I told you I would piss on that guy's face?
Yeah, and then not sexually. And then Jon Moxley was.
I want him to do that in a promo. You know what times I told you I'd piss on his face? And not sexually. You know I mean that not sexually. I know I told you about the time with but that's not what I meant.
Yeah. So Jon Moxley says every time.
I can't believe Tony Khan doesn't want to hire us. I don't get it, Tom. These are great suggestions.
Awesome suggestions all night. But Moxley takes the mic, Eddie takes the mic from Moxley, and he's like, hey, fine. If you won't say it, I'll say it. It's a fifth man. It's Ishii, which we remember Ishii from one of the best matches I've ever seen in person at All Out on the pre-show. Eddie Kingston versus Ishii, one of the best matches of the year.
At that match that we were live on the floor because we're ballers, Ishii, I believe, chopped Eddie Kingston's pectoral into the fourth row.
I'm not kidding you. I really thought I saw, and I'm not using hyperbole here. This is a legit, real thing I thought I saw. I thought I saw at one time Ishii, when they were just going chop for chop, that he hit Eddie Kingston in the chest. And I swear, I thought I saw like hairs from Eddie Kingston's beard pop off. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It was like, boom. Like,
yeah. Well, listen, there's dead hairs in there. I mean, it was so loud. It sounded like just gunshots going off in that arena.
Yeah. Incredible. So anyhow, Ishii. So Ishii makes his way into the ring. But then there comes the Blackpool Combat Club, and they beat up Ishii, and then Danielson and Yuta is beating up on Eddie Kingston, and then Danielson goes, Okada, you piece of shit, you're an amateur, fuck you, and says, come on. And then Okada says, all right, I'm gonna wear a white shirt since you guys are all in black. Ha ha ha. Runs down, and they have their thing. Okada stands, yay.
The coin drops. I thought something was ringing in my house. Like it went off.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking around. I was like, what in the fuck is good? What is that?
Dogs saw someone was at the door.
Yeah.
Dogs saw someone was at the door. They're like, good. And I was like, nope, it's fucking TV.
No, it's the Rainmaker.
Yeah, it's the Rainmaker. That'll be fun on Sunday. I'm going to hit mute on his entrance. But there it is. The end of the show was Okada stands tall and we go into our predictions for Forbidden Door.
Yeah, so, gonna get all of these right. So good at this.
Well, I am going to read off of Wikipedia because, as we have mentioned, not only is AEW's production team subpar,
their website. God, they never put these cards up in a good manner ever. 4 years
never.
Deep. I will give WWE that credit.
Well, it's professional, yeah.
For doing what we do here, their website is unmatched on a card level. Like they have the quick hits, and you can click each individual one and get more detail if you want, or you can go back. It's web design really 101. Yeah.
All right. So again, I am reading this strictly off of Wikipedia on Thursday at 10:52 in the one true time zone. If it is changing or changed. Oh, Wednesday. Sorry, I said Thursday. Wednesday, whatever the fucking day it is. I'm not going into work tomorrow. I am. Maybe not. So yeah, Wednesday night. So here he goes. First match I got here, Athena taking on Billy Starks in the Women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament first round match.
I feel like Billy Starks wins this because I feel like Athena's the more established name that has more cred, but I feel like they're trying to kind of give a little fire underneath this Billy Starks lately. So I'm going to go with the Billy Starks.
Good. Okay. I'm going Athena. I'm going Athena because she is the ROH Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And if you looked at the brackets, the winner of this takes on presumably the winner of the other match, which will be Willow Nightingale. So we'll get to that. So anyhow, that's what I think. I think Athena's matching up against Willow Nightingale in the next round. That's why I'm saying that. Okay.
You're wrong.
Yep, I like it. Sure. All right, let's get to the second one. And again, this is not the order. It's just how it is on Wikipedia.
Which is never wrong.
Right. You have for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, champion Kenny Omega taking on challenger Will Ospreay.
I think Will Ospreay wins with help of Don Callis, and Will Ospreay is your new IWGP United States champion, and he hates Canada, and he's right.
I agree. Now, this is why I also agree. I won't give it away. I'll give it away when we do the next pick, when it comes to it. But I think Ospreay wins for New Japan.
And wins the title.
And wins the title. And I think that's good.
Not wins by DQ, not count. This is
no
new champion.
Yeah, wins. Because Kenny Omega won the first one in New Japan. So I think Ospreay wins the next one in AEW. So they win in each other's promotions. Well, and I think it's good to take a championship over to New Japan.
Some self-help advice from Tim and Tom at the Spanish Announce Table. You can accomplish the greatest things in your life if you just channel and use as fuel your hatred for Canada.
Canada's hat, or America's hat. Yeah. All right, so we're both going Ospreay. I like that. Next up on the list, again, not in the order, but just on the list, we have Bryan Danielson versus Okada.
Ooh, this is a tough one to pick because globally, these are two top names of the industry, period, right? And man, I don't know. This is coming from not knowing the history. Have these two ever wrestled each other? Did they say
no?
That? Never wrestled each other.
They've not.
Man, I feel like this is where looking at an entire card as a booker and booking matches might influence the outcome, right? Based on other matches, right? Because I feel like they're evenly matched and could go either way. So I'm just going to say it's an AEW production. We're going to say Bryan Danielson to continue this idea that Bryan Danielson will fuck anybody up.
Yeah, it's Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson's going to win this because he's Bryan Danielson. And Okada was on last year's Forbidden Door. Didn't win, but didn't lose. So why not? Didn't really hurt him last time. And I'm going to give you my next pick. And then I'm going to tell you what I think the theme is from the New Japan side. So I got Bryan Danielson beats Okada. So if you're playing along, I've got Ospreay winning, Okada losing, right? So the next matchup on the docket is for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Champion Sonata taking on Jungle Boy Jack Perry with Hook. Who do you got?
Sonata wins.
Sonata wins. And not to tip my hand too early, but I think with AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door, this is the changing of the guard for New Japan. I think the Okadas and the Kojimas and the Tanahashis, and I think the Ospreys and the Sonatas, and those guys are going to the moon.
So the answer is Sonata wins.
Yep.
The question then is,
yep,
do we get the beginnings of the Mega Powers explode between Jungle Boy and Hook at this event?
I think we get it right then. I think
you think they explode right then?
I think we're going to get to a point in the match where Jack Perry looks to Hook and is like, hey, man, let's help out. And Hook is going to go, nah. And then
beat him yourself.
Yeah. And then Jack Perry loses. And then Jack Perry goes, what the fuck was that? And then boom, that's where we get the heel turn. That's what I think happens.
All right.
We'll see.
I think we get some inklings of that, and then we'll get a bigger payoff later on AEW television on a Dynamite or Collision.
I mean, that would probably be smarter, but I think the thing that with Forbidden Door last year that was missing was moments. I know we got all this person in this, but it was kind of just matches. It was really good matches, but it was just matches. And then we just moved on.
That's how I feel going into this. So I would hope that, again, hey, I want to compare. We do this a lot, WWE and AEW. AEW has a lot of these moments, especially around this time when Forbidden Door is coming up, as does WWE in a different way, where I call them who gives a shit matches, right? There's no storyline going on. There's nothing really that, like, a reason for me to care about the outcome of this match. AEW has some of those. WWE has some of those as well. The difference in WWE is it's usually like, I don't know, NXT call-up versus fucking, Dominic Mysterio, right? And you're just like, why do I give a shit about this match? There's nothing going on. Last
night you had Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins.
Well, that was a little higher grade than the examples I gave, right? But over here on the Who Gives a Shit matches in AEW, it's at least something like, insert this New Japan guy who does all these crazy moves. So at least the match quality at least is a little more enticing to me, right?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yes.
So yes. I'm with Forbidden Door going into it. I look at it as a whole bunch of Who Gives a Shit matches, but I know those matches will be fine to watch. So it's one where I still will watch the event, right? But I would hope, as you're suggesting, that we get more that we can carry away. And if they're doing it well, both companies can carry these things away and do something with it over there.
Yeah, and I think, again, this is me just looking into the future. I think the way New Japan tells their stories is based off results, not moments. So based off of the results that I think will happen, it will be the changing of the guard, where with AEW, I hope there are moments like Jack Perry turning on Hook that then we could take on to Dynamite, where for the first time Hook will do a sit down interview to talk about what he has to say with Jungle Boy's recent actions.
So Jungle Boy gives him the Kansas City punt at the event. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Even Taz is on commentary and he's like, hey, bitch.
I'd have him take the headphones
up, right? Yeah, like go run down, check on his fucking boy. You know what I mean? Like something, right? Yeah. So then we get the Hook interview. And Hook doesn't say much, but he's still eating chips, right? They're asking him, and he's like, I don't know what he did, and I don't even need to ask him. Right? Like just little, you know what I mean? Like a few little one-liners, and he just goes back to eating chips. I still want Hook to be a man of few words, right?
Oh, but they need to be fire lines.
Fire lines.
Eddie Kingston needs to write this for him.
Yeah. Yeah, not me.
If he knows
not
it's
the one
scripted.
I just gave you, but like, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Let's workshop it a little bit. But yes, I need short, sweet, but I need the chips back, as we talked about last week, right? We need the chips.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
They're just dumb not to do the chips, right? somebody will pick that up
It's
as a sponsorship.
guys.
I know a guy.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. All right. So then we got MJF taking on Tanahashi. I'm going MJF. Who do you got?
Yeah, MJF. I feel like they're not having the AEW world champion lose. He at least doesn't lose the title, obviously. Duh, right? But maybe the other guy wins by DQ, but not. Yeah, MJF, there's no title change happening.
No. Adam Cole will get involved somehow.
Are the titles actually on the line on these? They are, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Adam Cole, maybe this is the DQ where Adam Cole goes to hit MJF because he doesn't like him, and then the ref looks at it and like, motherfucker. Yeah, one of those things. All right,
or MJF makes it look like Adam Cole did that.
That'd be fun.
And gets that's the answer. He makes the ref think Adam Cole just did something to him.
Yeah, but then Tanahashi would be pissed.
Yeah, but fuck him.
Well, then he would try to fight Adam Cole.
Yeah, well, but they can answer that later. They can do that next year at the Glory Hole.
All right, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so then next up, we got the 6-man tag on the list. Jericho Appreciation Society with Minoru Suzuki taking on Sting and his
Suzuki
kid
gods.
Darby. And a mystery partner who, again, I think will be Naito.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So who you got in this?
I think the Jericho squad jobs here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sting must win.
Yeah.
It's not Sting must pose, but Sting must win.
Sting's winning.
And just like I think Jungle Boy's turning heel on Hook, I think Sammy Guevara is turning babyface on Jericho.
Right. We get that moment. Or they are continuing Sting Jericho, and the Jericho squad gets a victory through shenanigans.
Well, what are you picking then?
Not that, because I don't want to speak that into existence. So we're going to go with the Jericho squad loses.
Oh, I hope Naito paints his face, because anytime you tag with Sting and Darby, you have to paint your face like CM Punk did that one time.
Somebody's getting Muto sprayed, though, right? Like, in the face. In there.
Maybe. Does anyone have that?
Somebody's just going to do it, right? Because we got Sting, we got the fucking, the Jericho. Yeah.
Maybe a baseball bat, but I don't think he's.
Nah, they're going to do it. Somebody's going to get sprayed in the face. Yeah.
I'm going more baseball bat. All right. If we were betting points, I would definitely win that if you bet a point.
Yeah.
Blackpool Combat Club in a 10-man tag team match taking on the Elite plus Eddie Kingston and Ishii.
This isn't like there's no special, this isn't a blood and guts. This isn't this is just a 5-man, one fall, not an elimination. This is just tag.
No, but it's the Young Bucks, so it doesn't mean that tags are real. They're gonna be flippers and shifts and
this motherfucker asked about the rules.
yeah.
Nerd.
Fucking Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson don't give a shit about no rules. They'll just jump on those ropes all night. Who you got though? Blackpool Combat Club or Elite Eddie Kingston Ishii?
I feel like Blackpool Combat Club has to win because we're going to continue this, and it's easier to do that with the heels winning here, right? You could have the faces win, and then the Blackpool Combat Club on the next Dynamite come out, and they're like, fuck you, this ain't over, and do something nefarious. Yeah. But I just feel like it's easier, and I think the storylines given to the Blackpool Combat Club are still on a tear, and ain't nobody stopping them. And they're still ripping faces off of skulls.
Yes. Blackpool Combat Club wins. They specifically get the pin over Ishii. And this then makes the Elite say, well, Eddie Kingston and Ishii aren't elite, so we're going to go get the Golden Lovers. We're going to go get some people from New Japan that we actually like, and they're going to be in this. And then we're going to do blood and guts, and it's going to be 5-on-5 that way. Go fuck yourselves. That's what's going to happen. At least that's what I think. And if not, I don't give a shit. Yeah. Then we got Satoshi Kojima, the man who loves bread. Remember that? This motherfucker loves bread. I love him for it. That's a gimmick. That's a motherfucker.
Everybody loves bread.
Well, but just like, hey man, so what you think in pro wrestling? So here it is. I fucking really give a strong clothesline. Okay, so like, what's your character? I love fucking eating bread.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. Yes, I
What-
love
what we
eating
need
bread.
is what does everybody want?
Bread!
He says a loaf of bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want bread.
We want bread.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Canada, you guys aren't good at much, but do this at the pay-per-view. Make that chant a thing. CM Punk wins, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
CM Punk isn't losing anything soon. We'll say that.
I agree. And then what I think might be actually the most interesting match, because I don't honestly know where they're going to go. We're going with the 4-way match for the AEW International Championship. Champion Orange Cassidy taking on Zack Sabre Jr., taking on Shibata, taking on Daniel Garcia. Side note, is Shibata a bread? Is that a type of bread?
Ciabatta is a bread.
Say what yours?
Ciabatta.
Oh, with a C, not with an S.
Ciabatta.
Man, he missed it. He should have went with the C and then got a
What does
bread
everybody
fucking
want?
endorsement. Shibata!
Yes.
Oh, that's the tag
Ciabatta,
team.
by the way, a good bread. Yeah.
Sure.
Good bread.
Kojima and Ciabatta are bread boys.
The bread boys.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
What? Bread. Because I was
Bread.
going to say bread, right? But then they're holding specifically ciabatta bread.
Well, and think of how popular throwing pancakes were. They could just start throwing bread chunks. They're ripping
Oh,
bread
yeah.
off like it's fucking communion out here,
Oh.
and they're just throwing bread around.
See, Tony, we might give you some curveballs, but we give you those fastballs that you definitely want to hit out of the park. This is one of them, right? Well, they're New Japan guys. But
speaking
still.
of 10 years of the Spanish announce table, one of the best ideas we ever had that they never took us up on was turning the 3-man band face and having them air guitar in the goddamn crowds like Warhorse. Idiots. That would have been over as fuck.
Yeah, well, look, Tanahashi, that's a third of his character over in New Japan. He's the John
Yes.
Cena over there.
Right?
Yeah.
They could still do that today with the 3-man band, and all three of those guys would be doing better than they're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, what's Jinder Mahal doing? Is he alive?
Yeah. Oh, no, maybe he's leading the new tag team over there, the Indica something. Yeah.
Dana Brooke.
Indica Sativa or whatever their fucking name is.
Yeah. All right, so who you got here? Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr.,
Oh, poor
Shibata,
Dana
or
Brooke.
Daniel Garcia?
Probably done.
Good. Look, another thing. Another side quest.
I don't feel
Just
bad when
because
we
you-
can't say Dana Brooke anymore.
Well, we'll see. We still will. Here's the thing. Just because you love something doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah.
Okay? When all evidence
I love
points...
porn.
Yeah, and he should not be doing it.
doing it.
You know? Like, there's just
Look
things
at
in
this
life
guy.
that there's just things in life that when you learn through experience, maybe I shouldn't be doing it, then don't do it.
Then don't
so
do
like,
it. Yeah.
but I'm just
Yeah.
sorry. Again, bye. Nothing against the person. She seems like a fine human. This ain't for you, homie.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you got here? Who you got? You're going with
What was the what were we
Daniel.
talking about?
It's Daniel Garcia, Ciabatta,
Oh yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr., Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy. We're getting the
Ooh.
fucking thumbs up at the end of the night. Or, opening match or whatever. Probably the opening match.
That's key. If it's opening match, 100% it's Orange Cassidy. If it's mid card,
That's it. I'm wagering a point. This is like whose line is it anyway, where the points are made up. Don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm wagering a point on this is the opening match, and we get the OC thumbs up at the end.
You're right. It is Orange Cassidy. Because here's the thing. Zack Sabre Jr. is the New Japan whatever TV champion. Ciabatta is a Ring of Honor pure champion. And Daniel Garcia wants that pure championship. So those three are already said for, so which leaves Orange Cassidy. So yeah, Orange Cassidy. There we go.
Yeah. It's that pure bread.
All right. And then in this order from Wikipedia, the main event we got for the AEW Women's World Championship match. Because that's happening.
Main event?
I hope so. God, can we get a... Yeah, I'll do the side quest and then we'll get back to it. Because it's Willow Nightingale versus Tony Storm. Tim, I'm not going to say everyone again that was on this card, but can you tell me the thing that may stick out to you, that sticks out to me at least, about this card from the AEW side?
Ooh, is it all white folks?
It's all
white
people.
Yeah.
It is like Willow Nightingale. I understand technically AEW and is African American. However, she's representing New Japan because she's the New Japan Strong Champion. So she's really New Japan in this night. So it is legitimately whites versus New Japan.
Is this match, titles aren't on the line on this one?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Both titles, or is this one title is on the line?
Just AEW.
Just AEW's title. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Willow Nightingale loses because of interference.
Tim, turn your fucking mic off. Turn your fucking mic off, Tim. We're done with the show.
Who was supposed to win that title, Tom? Who was supposed to win that title? Who wrestles for New Japan Pro Wrestling? Who will have beef with the New Japan Pro Wrestling Women's Pure Champion? And who will need to do something to buy time for the eventual rematch? And it is the CEO, Mercedes Moné, will interfere, costing the best person in AEW, Willow Nightingale, to lose. And then the Outcasts get to grab their crotches and laugh and walk away.
Man, would you look at the time? I got to go.
We got to go, man. Got to piss. Been holding this in for an hour. Yeah, Tom's actually done.
Remember when we had that one listener, speaking of 10 years of Spanish Announce Table, and I theorized a fucking thing that would happen with Daniel Bryan and Kane, and the listener said, I'm going to take my semi and drive it in your ass.
Big Josh, the rebel trucker, said he was going to drive his truck right up your ass.
Well, this is the first time I understand his feelings, Tim.
Tell me when I'm telling lies, Tom.
What a perfect way to end it. That's yeah.
Should have just cut the show right there. Yeah, because that's what's gonna happen. Sasha Banks is gonna come in and give the Kansas City cunt punt to Willow Nightingale, and we're gonna get a roll up from fucking Tony Storm, Saraya, and fucking Ruby Soho are gonna be laughing. Mercedes Moné is going to be up there with her fucking CEO, fucking brass knucks, fucking doing the same pose from 1994. And, yeah. That is, tell me when I'm telling lies.
Right. I hate that you're right. God damn.
Yeah. As much as we want bread is as much as this is going to happen.
I'm gonna go eat bread.
Yeah,
you
should go put money now on FanDuel, whatever the official sponsor, right? DraftKings, whatever it is, AEW. Put money on that. Interference from Mercedes Moné. If that's plus money, put your fucking house on it.
Well, maybe not. But yeah, no, you're right.
Don't do it too quickly, right? We don't want Tony Khan to get time to change.
Well, and also we didn't say it if it happens that it doesn't happen. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do not. Yeah. Spanish Announce Table public announcement. Do not take financial advice from podcasters.
Never.
Especially pro wrestling podcasters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that the main event? That's the main event, huh? That's it.
According to Wikipedia,
that's all the matches we get, huh?
Well, we're going to get 6 more, but what they are, we don't know.
Right,
hopefully we get some diversity. Hey, maybe put Keith Lee on here. Maybe put Swerve Strickland. Hey, maybe put Prince Nana manages someone. Just any person of color. How about that? We got Yuta. I guess Yuta is Asian. I should clarify that. But it's all white people.
Wondering if it's all white people should be the episode name. I've been
I mean, maybe. Look at all those white people.
Yeah, that might send people the wrong way. All right, we're just going to get out of here. It's been a crazy Wednesday night. We're going to call it because we're tired. We're ready to go to bed. And as everybody knows, we want bread.
The Spanish announce table.